Hey guys, it's Ilbus here, the Baron's Finest, getting you all a deck profile. We recently had a winter box at my locals of the new Wing Raiders set, and I wound up just playing Monarch and getting third. I originally wanted to play Mermail, but I hadn't practiced enough with the deck, and I have a new build at the moment that I'm testing. I swear to you guys, that build is coming. I keep recording videos where it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to upload Mermails, and I found I had the last few things that came in last week, or this week, so I'll be recording that after a little bit more testing, just to make sure I completely like the build. But I figured I'd show you guys the Monarch list that I wound up playing. I got third place at my locals. My pulls are pretty good. I wound up getting some Fanonite stuff, which I wanted. I wound up splitting a box, and I also got the Red Super Quantum and Force Strix. But yeah, I'm going to be hopefully profiling some stuff soon. And without further ado, though, we're going to start on this Monarch list. The deck is really basic. And I also want to say that I was originally going to profile this on day one of the deck's release, but honestly, that build wasn't that good. So I figured you guys would maybe like this build more, because this build is a lot better in my opinion. I like this build a lot more, even though barely anything changed. So to start off with, we play 3 copies of Erebus. Erebus is probably the best card in the deck in my opinion. What it does, for people who don't know, is that you can tribute summon it by tributing one tribute summon monster. You can send 2 spells or 2 Monarch spells and traps from deck with different names from deck to grave or hand. And if you do, you get to shuffle a card in your opponent's board, hand, or grave back into their deck. And it does not target. And then during another player's main phase, if it's in your graveyard, you can discard a Monarch spell or trap to target a monster with 2,400 or more attack and 1,000 defense and add to your hand, including itself. So Erebus does recycle, gets you back anything you want. It's a really good card. It fuels parts of the deck, and honestly, Erebus is just great. The other big, I'm also playing through Ether, the Heavenly Monarch. Essentially, really similar effects. The whole tribute summon clause still counts. And then its effect is that when it's tribute summoned, you can send 2 Monarch spells or traps with different names from your hand or deck to the grave. If you do, special summon 1 monster, essentially summon a monster with Monarch stats from your deck, and then end phase it returns to your hand. And then you can tribute summon it during your opponent's turn, and that is a quick effect by banishing a Monarch spell or trap in your grave. So it does get around a little bit to targeting. It floats you into a board. It lets you do return during your opponent. It lets you do return to the Monarchs during your opponent's turn and getting you a free big dude. And then for my last big tribute, I run Caius the Mega Monarch. I think this card's absolutely dumb, especially as of right now. Sniping BA. Actually, yeah, you can't snipe any of the Dark Cosmos ships. You can hit Wicked Witch, if that means anything to you. It also hits Vanity's Fiend in the Mirror. Their Erebus is there, Mega Caius. If they run regular Caius, it hits that too. Honestly, God, I do really like Caius the Mega Monarch a lot. I think it's worth the spot as the extra tribute. And then for my last bit of tribute monsters, I run double Majesty's Fiend on the main board. My friend is telling me to run Vanities and cut the Aethers, but I like Aether because it just pushes in for mad damage. And Majesty's is honestly, in my opinion, the better one anyways. So I like the Majesty's Fiend. It's really great. It gets you in dumb locks. And not to mention, this thing having Monarch stats is super important because it has the 1,000 defense where Vanity's Fiend doesn't. We also are playing the 3 basic ideas. It floats you into Eidos, which we'll get into in a little bit. But on summon, normal or special, you get Eidos. And then if it's sent to the grave, you get to target one of your banished Monarch spells or traps and add to your hand. Also, you do lose the ability to special from your extra deck that turn. And then we have triple Eidos, the Underworld Squire. Upon normal or special summon, you get a tribute summon in addition to your regular normal summoner set. You can only get that effect once per turn. And then if he's in your graveyard, you get to target, essentially, if he's in your graveyard, you get special idea from grave, basically, because I don't think there's any other monsters with identical stats as these two. And that triggers idea, so it floats you into a little loop. They're really good together. Some people don't like triple Eidos. I honestly thought about cutting it to 2 after initial testing, but then I realized because of cards like Prime, go Prime, Eidos, and then just double sack is still pretty good, or just single sack. We also play for hand traps, 2 Mexi and 2 Valor. If I were to go to a bigger event, I debate about putting these in the sideboard. But I like the Mexi and the Valor. Valor, I guess I'm iffy on, but if I'm gonna play Maxi, I want to draw something. I want to draw into something, and my locals is really like special summon heavy because we have BA, we have, well, at least right now we have Yang Zing, BA Yang Zing. We also have Fluffle / Fight First, so you know I'm gonna kind of gear around that. But that is it for the monsters. I didn't have the stuff for the Super Quantum build. I only have 1 red layer, and yes, you can play with 1, but I like 2 in the Super Quantum build. And as for the spells, we play 4 monos in the form of 1 Return. It's basically Black World 1 where you just keep searching your deck. 1 Foolish Burial. This card is actually really cool because you can dump a Dia or Eidos if you're missing one of those pieces. Or you can dump Erebus, so then that way you can pitch a Monarch Spell or try to add Erebus back. So if you're missing Tribute Fodder, or if you're missing a Tribute Summonable monster, but you have the Foolish, then you can just get it like immediately. 1 Rhoda, because you want to search a Dia, and 1 for 1. Great cards. I love them both. Both are fantastic in my opinion. Wow, all 3 of them are fantastic in my opinion. Excuse me. We also run 3 of probably the best Monarch spellers have in my opinion. Pantheism of the Monarchs. It's essentially a D draw. I kept comparing this to like Pot of Greed. I don't know why. It's a D draw for Monarch spells or traps, and then you also have the ability where you can banish it from grave to reveal 3 Monarch spells or traps from your deck, and then add one. Your opponent will pick one and add to your hand, and then you can only do that effect once per turn, but you can do the D-draw effect multiple times per turn. And I also like to run Triple Tenacity, as most people do. Tenacity is you essentially reveal a monster with Monarch stats in your hand, and then add a Monarch spell or trap from deck to hand. You ideally, off the Pantheism, will reveal the Triple Tenacity, so then the Triple Tenacity just gets you into your deck. We also run 3 of probably my other favorite Monarch Spell or Trap support card, the Monarch Stormforth. You basically just get to sack one of your opponent's monsters. It's pretty good. And it doesn't target, so it gets around all the Cosmo big ships. And also, that is something I want to mention. This deck actually has a really good Cosmo matchup in my opinion. It's just that this deck loses so hard to Mask Restrict, and I absolutely hate it. I just wish there were better outs to Mask Restrict than having to just draw the MSTs or anything. And then the last Monarch spell we run are the 3 copies of Domain. Domain has a lot of effects, and a lot of people just tell me, oh, Domain's bad because against Cosmo, where it's like, oh, you can't switch from extra. No, this card's really good against Cosmo still, because of all the effects it provides. Yes, like the fact that, you know, it only does, like, has the extra deck like block up effect, which to some cases doesn't matter. It pumps up your dudes, and not to mention it also makes so you can reduce the levels of the Monarchs in your hand. So that's honestly really good. Domain is a really dumb card. I absolutely love Domain. And plus Domain helps you in the mirror because it lets you beat over their fiends, their big dudes. It gets rid of a lot of problems for you in the mirror matches. And again, it lets Erebus, Aether, and Mega Caius actually run over all their dudes. For the traps, we play 5 total. I play the Escalation when I'm tempted to cut it. I'm going to be cutting this if I do go the Super Quantum build. 1 Reinforced Truth. This is to help you see Idea a lot faster, but it can also be a problem card because you don't get your battle phase that turn, but you do this ideally during the opponent's turn. The 1 Warning, because I like this card and I don't own strikes, and then last but not least 2 Prime. Some people like 3 Prime in the deck, and I can understand why people like 3 Prime, but I just feel like you don't need the 3. I feel it's a little excessive, but it comes down to player preference. I see why people like 3 Prime. That is it for the main board. It's an even 40. And as for the sideboard, as soon as I can get that out real fast, there we go. There is one change to the sideboard I'm thinking of making, and I'll get to it in just as I show you guys. For the monsters in the sideboard, we play 2 copies of Ghost Trick Jack Frost. This card helps you in the mirror match because it doesn't target, so you flip their Aethers, their Erebuses, and if they play March, it's like, okay, I don't care. It also helps you in the Cosmo. It helps you against Cosmo too, because you can flip any of the big ships face down. And it's honestly just a fantastic card. Decks that really just want to go in, this card says no, you're not going in. Plus, it serves as a chunk block later on, so it's really good. And if it lives, you get it as tribute fodder. And then the next card is the one I'm actually thinking of I'm probably going to be cutting. 2 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. I don't like this card as much right now. I think it was phenomenal in Pepe format, but now essentially everything is under the adjusted list. Ghost Ogre is just phenomenal, or not as phenomenal, excuse me. It doesn't really hit anything anymore. It's not bad against Rogue, but at the same time the card's really eh. So I'm probably going to be cutting these for marches and sideboard marches, but just want to let you guys know I did play Ghost Ogres, but I probably would replace them with marches. Or maybe other back row. Hey, I'm also considering a Trap Eater, just because I'm so tired of Masker Restrict. But that's up to you. We also play 2 copies of Vanity's Fiend. I don't main them, I side them. So there you go. You can choose to main these if you want, but I feel like the deck is sort of tight on room and I don't want to run too many tributes. And then for the mirror match, we have the double Fog King. Fog King is so good in the mirror. This card is dumb. It just shouldn't be a card. The 1 Raigeki, if I'm going to be going second, I want to be able to clear boards. And again, certain matchups you just need to be able to clear those boards. Plus, side this in the mirror, because people like to be cheeky with like Fog Kings and stuff, so just have the out to it. I also played double MST and double Twin Twister. Double Twin Twisters. You need to be able to poke off back row, because everybody's going to side Masker Restrict for you, because this deck just loses to Masker Restrict. And if anybody has like a better way of dealing with Masker Restrict, I would absolutely love to hear it. So let me know on that. And then last but not least, I'm sideboarding double Scolding. Scolding is actually really cool because if you go first and you want to in the fight, this deck can side out a lot. Scolding makes so you going first is actually really strong. Plus, you just want to stop that 1 card in the game that's going to make it so you lose. So I absolutely love Scolding. I think it's great. And that is actually going to do it for this deck profile. I am going to go ahead and just grab a few things real quick. Yeah, there we go. That works. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. If you did, be sure to leave me some feedback. I'd absolutely love to hear it in the comments. It really does help the channel grow. If you guys have suggestions for the deck, or again, possibly Masker Restrict outs, I'd love to hear them. I don't know why, but I always lose that card. The instant it's flipped on me, I never draw my outs. But that's going to do it for now, guys. Mermails will be coming up, and I'm sorry if there is another block where I just don't upload. Life's been absolutely draining me lately. I've just been so tired. But that's going to do it for now, guys. Until next time, peace.